Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here today with Ryan Sargent, Director of Content Marketing at Verblio. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. It's good to talk to you again. This is the second time we talked this week,
Yeah.
so it's it's good to keep it going. So you're hiring for a content marketing manager role, and we'll talk about that specifically. But maybe first, can you just introduce yourself, Ryan, and tell us a little bit about Verblio? Like, what's the big picture?
Yeah, Ryan, I'm the director of content at Verblio. I've been with Verblio about 6 months now. Um, been in a couple content marketing roles. Was originally a musician, so I'm kind of always perpetually recovering from that. And Verblio is the world's friendliest content creation platform. So we build content as the product, which also means that this role is kind of meta and fun in that you get to build content for the content marketing company, which it comes with its own set of challenges, but also I'd say that's probably the most exciting thing I've found so far at the role. Verblio is a small bootstrap startup. I think we just crossed the 30 employee mark in terms of full time. Um, let's see, we're based in Denver, but this role is remote in the US. And I guess I should say more about Verblio as a whole here. Yeah, we have a marketplace of 3,000 writers. And so clients come to us and writers find them. We have writers in all sorts of different niches and industries. And so they produce the written content. Obviously, my team then produces the content to market Verblio.
Got it. That's a good distinction to make, just to make sure it's super clear. Um, the content about content thing, you're right, does come with its own kind of set of challenges. But
Yeah.
speaking from experience, this is basically my role at Animals, was to write content about content. It's a ton of fun because you're basically your own target reader. So you get to explore this stuff very deeply.
Yeah, the producing content for other content marketers, like it's a crowded space. Our competitors are people like Animals, people like HubSpot. So I think a key piece of this role is doing something really different. There's a bit of like choose your own adventure with this role, because if we just run the content playbook, then we're going to end up behind those like big name competitors. So um, people that want to try new things, that want to do something that's contrarian or different, or set a new bar in terms of what content could and should be. That's the kind of person I'm interested in.
That's really cool. Really cool. So let's zoom in on the role a little bit. So you lead content there. This person will they'll report directly to you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. And is this role, I always like to ask people, there's like a spectrum of like from content creation to like pure strategy. Like where on that spectrum does this person sit? Will they be kind of writing all the time? Do they get to dabble a little bit in the strategy and reporting and some of that other stuff?
Yeah, so I would say mostly execution, some strategy, particularly strategy on new initiatives or new channels or new projects.
Okay.
If this person says we need to be on YouTube and I want to do it in these ways, great. Own that strategy, own that reporting, own that measurement, own that process. In terms of executing on strategy we've already got in place, that I would say that's a big chunk of the role as well.
Who is this person? What have they been working on for the past couple of years that you feel will have prepared them well for this role?
That's a really good question. I love the idea that we might get folks who have been working on all sorts of different things, and um, we're not asking for a ton of years of experience. We don't need a 10-year editor in chief person for this role. We're looking for someone that wants to take on that kind of challenge of marketing to marketers, and at the same time, someone who has some kind of a background or knowledge, even if it's self-taught, in SEO. So much of the content that Verblio produces for our customers is SEO focused, that even when my team is producing something that isn't SEO focused, that knowledge and skill set kind of comes into play. Um, we have an SEO specialist on staff as part of the digital marketing team. So you just need to know how to build content that ranks, not necessarily manage the nuts and bolts or do CRO or anything like that. So some level of SEO knowledge is helpful. I'd say a good kind of gut feeling for creativity feels important. And maybe that's my musician background, catching me again. But so I guess to answer the question, I don't have a specific thing necessarily that this person has been doing for the past couple of years. And one other thing would be, we're not looking necessarily for anything in particular. So if you don't check every single box on that very long job description, I'd encourage you to apply anyway. We want to have like the most diverse, broad hiring pool we can possibly find. So definitely interested in speaking with folks, even if they don't have all of the check boxes kind of cookie cutter fashion.
That's cool. No, I think that's good because you leave a little room for people to have a blank canvas to paint on, which I think is good. I mean, as you're reviewing resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, writing samples, etc., are there certain things that would stand out? It doesn't necessarily need to be a job title, but like maybe a certain type of writing sample, or like the way that a piece of writing has performed, not just how well it reads.
Yeah, so I would say, because this is like a content production role to a large extent, the cover letter matters more to me than the resume. Like,
Okay.
the cover letter is a writing sample for a role like this, and so that matters. We've also got a prompt as part of the application that says, give us a couple sentences to prove you took a deep dive into this job description. Our job description is very long and hopefully entertaining enough to make it worth it.
It is entertaining. I have to say, when I first saw it, I was like, this is long, but I read it and I did not feel that I wasted my time. I liked it.
So those two sentences are the first thing I look at when we get for this role. So
Okay.
I would definitely, don't be afraid to take a little time and polish those two sentences, even though it's just two sentences.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it sets the tone for the role itself as well, which is cool. I have to say, like, I've had the opportunity to work with Verblio on a couple of different things. And Verblio has just been amazing to work with. I've probably interacted with 4 or 5 people at the company. Even had the chance to go mountain biking over the summer with the CEO, Steve. And it's been great. Like, I personally can't say enough good things about all the people that I've met and interacted with there.
And I would echo all of that in reverse. There's a reason that we're such good friends with you, Jimmy, and SuperPath sponsors and all that. So yeah, the SuperPath is an amazing community. I love being a part of it separate from this job description. So
I appreciate it. Ryan, is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or kind of any like closing sales pitch you want to make for this role?
I think so. The one thing maybe I didn't mention is that there is some amount of content creation for social media involved in this role. Again, we're not set on what that looks like. So maybe that's written, maybe that's video, maybe that's something else. Maybe it's something that we've never thought of, and that's the value you're bringing. But some level of social content creation is involved. And then the other thing I'd say is that entertaining job description, I took this job knowing that was going to be too good to be true, and that the culture wasn't going to be that good, and I was wrong. It is that good. That attitude and that vibe that you pick up in the job description exists day to day on this team. Every meeting, every Slack interaction, it's people first all the way, and it's not a dream. So
That's awesome.
that's the sales pitch.
That's awesome. In Good to Great, Jim Collins says that you should always get good people and then let them decide which direction to go, as opposed to deciding on the direction, then finding the right people. So it sounds like you are doing that for this role specifically, and also Verblio has done and is doing that kind of more broadly as well. So would encourage folks, if you're interested in applying, kind of on the fence, shoot me a DM in Slack. I'd be happy to give you a little kick, check out writing samples, cover letter, whatever. I'd be happy to provide a little bit of feedback and give you that little kind of boost of encouragement that you might need to actually go and apply. So please don't hesitate to do that. And Ryan, thank you so much for doing this. Really huge value to SuperPath members to meet you, see your face, hear your voice, and get a little bit more context on this role. So thanks for taking the time.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan.